Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's topic, boys and girls, is soul. Soleil, I've heard it named because it has a little tilde over it, ideally, a little French thing going on. And what is it? Why do you make it? Why is it supposed to be good for me? Those are all very good questions. Thank you for asking. So it separates over time. You'll see it settles on the bottom. I've been playing with it from the last video demonstration. And why do you need Soleil? Well, you don't need it, but it does many, many, many things for you. It is a pH balancer. It can normalize blood pressure, and it can do so many things. Now, I use it when I do oil pulls, and after I'm done and I rinse my mouth before I brush my teeth, I rinse it with this. I take a teaspoon of this into 8 ounces of water, and I rinse it until all the water is gone. And then I brush my teeth, and I might leave enough to rinse it the last time. And it's like a mouth orgasm. When you rinse it with this, and the mucous membrane, everything in your mouth is absorbing the minerals and is neutralizing to a neutral pH. It's like, oh, that feels so good. And it's so refreshing. And also, the mineral count in this thing is so epic that it actually can disassemble yeast and viruses. So it goes in there and really cleanses things out. So how do you make this stuff? Now, I'm going to do a demonstration on how to make it. It's very simple. You buy a pound of Himalayan sea salt from a good quality source. You can buy them in blocks and break them down, or you can buy them already crystallized down. And you get a glass jar with a plastic top. If you get and put a metal top on this, the argon gases and all the stuff that gets released during the distillation process as this is breaking down will literally chew up the metal lid. It's like, it literally oxidizes it. It's like, it's doing its job. Plastic, must have plastic. And you want to keep it sealed, because as these various gases get released, they have a chemical interaction with the minerals and whatnot, and there's some synergistic things that go on. So if you let that all release, you're releasing some of the benefit of it. So you put a Fiji water, and or some kind of idealized, good, clean water source, and you put it in a jar. You fill it up, and then you fill up a third. It should be a third, and the rest, the 2/3, should be water. And you mix it up, and you leave it for at least 24 hours. And you have Soleil. It needs that long to fully break down. And if you can go in and play with it every once in a while, it helps break it down. That's a good ideal process. So ideally, the use of this is when you get up in the morning and you've done an oil pull and you've cleansed your mouth, because you don't want to drink any water. You don't want to do anything ideally until you've cleaned your mouth, because if you're drinking water or whatnot and you haven't brushed your teeth or done an oil pull and some of these other things to lower the bacterial count in your mouth, you're actually drinking all your bacteria that's been growing in your mouth from the night before and since the last time you brushed your teeth. So once you cleanse your mouth, you put 1 to 2 teaspoons of this, or less, depending if you're having a yeast issue or something. You want to go really light on this stuff because it will clean you out. The yeast tries to run away from it, and it literally, molecularly takes it apart. So you get a lot of die-off. So if you have too much and you're very yeasty, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to get a Herxheimer reaction to this where you get over toxicity. So you go easy on it if you're having yeast problems, and you should go easy the first time you try anything. If you're sensitive to salts and you have high blood pressure, whatnot, this might not be for you either. So, and all of this is not medical advice. It's just things that I do on a daily basis to try to keep my body as well and organically balanced as possible. With that said, I usually put 1-2 teaspoons into 8 ounces or 16 ounces of water. Sometimes, usually it's 16 ounces of water for me, and drink it as my first thing after I've done my oil pull and cleanse my mouth. And that will go in and help balance blood pressure and neutralize your pH, and it goes through and cleanses the stomach. So if you have any issues with yeast or whatnot, in your bloodstream and intestinally. It goes in there and goes, "Roar." And sometimes if you do have yeast problems, this will just run right through you and just clean you out, and you'll have some diarrhea on the other end. So it is being easy on this and getting into the flow of things. But this was one of the better things for yeast controlled that I've ever found personally, as far as the cost, because to buy half a pound of Himalayan sea salt, this thing lasts forever. I mean, you just take you swish it around and you get it all nice, and you take your plastic. You don't put metal in this, by the way. No metal spoons or anything in this. This should never touch metal. Remember, it eats metal, and metal interacts with it, so you taint it. So you get a plastic spoon, and like a picnic spoon, and dip in and get 1 teaspoon and maybe another teaspoon, depending on where you are, or maybe like a half teaspoon or just a little tiny bit, with 8 to 16 ounces of water, and take it and see how you react to it. So ideally you want to do this in the morning, but you can do it throughout the course of the day as well if you're feeling the need. It is a great electrolyte rebalancer as well, so a lot of things like Gatorade and whatnot, I mean, they have tons of these types of ideas in them in the way of minerals, and you can see some of the sediment from the sea salt that has partially dissolved in there. So there's lots of different applications for this. If you're working out or whatnot, sometimes when I work out and I know I'm going to work out really vigorously, or I know I'm going to have some epic sex, like, oh, I got to plan on, being available for 2 or 3 hours for sex today, I think I better bone up on some minerals. So, I'll bring some of this with me in like a plastic type of container, PVC free type of idea. And I think ideally this is a daily type of thing. It depends on how your body tolerates it, because you are restoring a lot of minerals, and you're getting like a full mineral profile. I mean, Himalayan sea salt has a full mineral profile in it, so you're getting all your colloidal minerals. And for neural connectivity, for your brain to actually work properly, because you are kind of like a battery. If you're either dehydrated and dry, how batteries dry out, they don't have an electrical charge like they did, and if they don't have particularly, like in their case, is usually a type of acid, but in our case, it's very much in the way of salt. And salts and minerals help neural connectivity, help this electrochemical cascade that goes on in the brain. So adding minerals in there make you smarter, so to speak, help you have better neural connectivity, help you have the availability of having more access to the brain cells that you already have there. If they start disconnecting and or you can't make neural pathways to them because your salt content or you're not hydrated correctly, then you're not going to be quite as smart as you were. So you dumb yourself down when you don't get enough minerals and water. So that's another added benefit. So that's just something that I do on a daily basis. I don't do that one daily because I am a sensitive butterfly to salts and stuff like that. So I don't use that daily because sometimes it messes with my blood pressure. My blood pressure is good unless I overdo it with this. So I don't actually do it every day. I do rinse my mouth with it every day, but I don't orally consume it every day, to drink it. But I do like to rinse out my mouth with it because that is like, it always feels good, like it's beneficial. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching life, business, and spiritual. Also retreats, an epic one coming in Hawaii very shortly. This year, a little later this year, summertime in Hawaii. Ooh, and the location is just dreamy. It's a fantastic spot. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. And down below in the description, there's tons of stuff going on, points of contact, social media, email, mailing address, all that kind of good stuff. So if you want to reach Glenn, you can. There's no excuses. Write me now. So thank you very much for joining me and watching, and have a fantastic day.